Thank you, Comrade General Secretary, Comrade Mkiva. From our side, as the SACP, it's myself, General Secretary Solima Paila. We've got in front here our party officials, Comrade Treasurer and Comrade Tula Sinesi, our Deputy National Chairperson. We've got several other members of the CC who are seated with you, a part and parcel of the 4.5-hour discussion, Comrade Mandla. When you joined us, you joined us when we have decided to go public on this discussion. So we've had extensive discussions. So we were preparing our statement at the time that you announced to apologize for further delaying you. We're not going to read every single sentence, but we will issue this formal communique after this press conference. The most important thing is to highlight the fact that we held these bilateral discussions between our two formations, which was a reconnection from the last time we met when the Communist Party was launching its campaign, Maubuye Umhlaba, the land program. We were the first political organization, literally, to take up this question for the return of the land owners, the people of our country, and its custodians, the traditional leaders. This process has been quite frustrating over the years. We have reconnected once more as these leaders, the Communist Party, and Contra Lesa, which is an organization of our traditional leaders in South Africa. Firstly, to reaffirm the fact that the SACP over the years has always respected the role of traditional leaders in our society. We know that bourgeois media had created an impression that we were not in consonant with traditional leadership. That's further from the truth. We've also recognized the historical role of our traditional leaders in their heroic fight against colonialism and imperialism in our country, in making many battles in which literally traditional leaders in their own right, some died in battle defending our land, which today remains in the hands of the minority, although government claims that constitutionally is in charge of the land, but everyone can see it is not the case. So it is in this regard that we felt that we needed to have to reconnect, look into the conditions facing our people under traditional leadership in our communities, and politically the role of the Communist Party as a part of the working class. We, as a party, have been visiting various communities across the country, and we have also, in that process, reconnected with our traditional leadership structures and leadership of the people on the ground. And they know very well that we've paid appropriate homage as we engage with them in their respective communities, not to patronize them. We hate patronage of any form, but to engage them about the living conditions of our communities, which the democratic movement has not supported them appropriately. We'll talk to this particular question later on in the statement. It is our view that collectively, that traditional leaders are an integral part to national development, and that we as the progressor. So this bilateral today was very important, particularly given the crisis of national transformation agenda in our country. Therefore, the bilateral meeting observed pertinent issues that affect our people and the crisis of leadership in our country. We agreed that there's a general lack of leadership for our country and that the country is on autopilot. In fact, to an extent, this country seems to be remote controlled by forces other than the forces located in this country. Because had it been the case, we can understand how the situation continues to aggravate and worsen without responding to the needs of the people. It is therefore our view in this regard that we need to work together to refocus the leadership challenge in our country to respond to the needs of our people, starting with economic needs of our people. And therefore, we will work together to respond to economic policies that are required to change the situation facing our people on the ground. We equally, in this respect, commonly rejected, which we have done individually as organization, but commonly have rejected the imposter of the government of national unity as nothing short of a political capitulation to the interest of reactionary forces and imperialist and colonial forces in our country. We disdain this structure that has been established in the name of our people. But the main thing that we agreed remains to be addressed, which we have agreed to intensify in our common struggles, is the return of the land to its rightful owners and its custodians. And therefore, we have agreed to roll out a joint program to realize this objective in the short to medium term. We're not going to make this when centuries of struggle have been there to defend this land, and we've got a democratic mandate as a people, and this democratic mandate is being wasted. We have said jointly that if there are problems, we will have to mobilize for national referendum to resolve the land question. Because parliamentarians have been wasting time, government has been wasting time on this so important a question affecting our society. The reason why we have poverty in this country is because the land has been dispossessed from its rightful owners, the people of this country, and those who have historically played custodian role on behalf of the people, the traditional leaders. The wealth of this land has been abstracted by corporates, and the state is looking aside when the resources of our country are siphoned outside the country, enriching a few minority, when the majority of our people live in poverty, in particular traditional communities, and across the country as a whole, but particularly in traditional communities. And our traditional leaders have been made helpless to just oversee poverty of their people with their hands tied down by the so-called democratic government. It is therefore important that the rollout of this program will be worked out by a joint working group that we have set up today, led by the two offices, General Secretary Mkiva, and in my office as well in the SACP. We have established working groups to work out all the details, including this question on the referendum. And we have agreed to embark on joint mobilization of our communities to support this call for the referendum, because the parliamentary gimmick is not going to end soon. And we have seen that reactionary forces, they will use every single trick in the book to abuse the law, to delay this question. And for us, this can no longer be delayed. It is in this regard that we have agreed this will be our principal program for the return of the land. We have also indicated that against this background of calling for the referendum, we have also heard, as the Communist Party, in this meeting today, some very disturbing statistics where traditional leaders are being killed, murdered, assassinated in big numbers across the country. That over the last 3 years, almost 60 traditional leaders have been killed. And amongst them, 52 of these, or majority, almost 52 plus, were from KwaZulu-Natal province. And only 1 or 2 matters have managed to reach the courts. It is quite clear that government is not paying special proper attention to the lives of traditional leaders. But it has also been across the country. So they are not even protected. This is a matter that worries us. And we have called that government must ensure immediate protection of traditional leaders across the country and provide equal support according to their stipulations in terms of seniority of various traditional houses. So this matter is also urgent and important for us. We've also agreed to address the general crisis of crime in our communities. And in this regard, we'll be working with traditional leaders to make sure that we get rid of crimes in our different communities and we work together jointly. And in this regard, we in the Communist Party are launching a program around the 18th of May in Moruleng in the Northwest. And one of the key tasks we'll be launching is a fight against crime. And we hope that kind of a posture will roll out to different communities as well, so that we fight crime in general, but especially this crime against traditional leaders. We have also called for a special task team to be set up by government, especially the Minister of the Police, to investigate these killings of traditional leaders across the country. This, for us, it's urgent because it seems there's a calculated move to wipe out our history through the killing of traditional leaders. And therefore, we are concerned about this matter. We hope that we'll be jointly writing to the relevant ministries to call for this urgent intervention as soon as it's possible. But like I said, we'll be rolling out a common program to make sure that we eliminate crime in our communities, because traditional leaders are also affected also as ordinary members of society. But in this instance, there's never been such a high number of a category of leaders who lost their lives over a short period of time than the traditional leaders in our country today. And this is a matter of serious concern for us. We have also jointly rejected, on the contemporary questions facing our society, the VAT increase by our government, albeit reserved, particularly after a court case. And we share common concern and ideas in condemning any intention to bring back a form of VAT or to reverse the court outcomes by reversing the achievement against this VAT. And therefore, we call on government to relook into this matter and ensure that other options are found for taxation methods, especially the idea on the increase of company tax, as well as other methods that unorthodox or economists have put on the table as alternatives to generate income for the state. And therefore, we have agreed on this matter and work together to ensure that other methods are found, and therefore our people are always protected and not punished the same. The poor and the rich are punished by the same tool, same economic tool in this regard of taxation, even though their capacity is not the same. When you increase the VAT, you don't change the fact that when you go to the shops, a billionaire and a poor person who's unemployed will have to buy the bread with the same price. This is just completely unacceptable. Of course, our program for what we call the People's Red Caravan, we were able to brief the traditional leadership at this aggregate formation of Contralesa about the fact that we've already rolled out this program in our communities, but we'll be officially launching it in Moruleng in the Northwest Province under Kgoshi Nyalani Pilani and Bakhatla Bakhafela. In that particular community, we are rolling out this program, but it's a program that we have started in other communities. Now it has taken a different shape of tackling the problems in communities directly. We have also agreed, by the way, that our structures after this engagement will be convening joint meetings at provincial levels to take forward and working together to make sure that we save the heroic examples of our forebearers who managed to give us democracy after an anti-imperialist and anti-colonial struggle 370 years. All this that we are seeing being reversed, it's a major concern for us. That's why we felt that we need to bring our efforts together and work together from the ground to protect the gains of our democracy and our revolution. As you know, Contra Lesa, it's a consequence of democratic interventions by our liberation, an active role in the continuation of our struggle at the time against colonial apartheid and white racial rule. And it continues to play a progressive role in our communities for its development. But unfortunately, government, either by design, this man is it's also a poet in his own right, get you the right words, either by design, commission, or omission. These are his things. Has now excluded in a major detail the role of traditional leaders in our communities. And this is the thing that we cannot accept. We have seen the many scourges that have developed as a consequence of exclusion of their role in our communities. Drug abuse, new forms of weapon, because this leadership had a way to deal with this kind of matters. But it is in this regard that our People's Red Caravan will be working together across the country, together with our traditional leadership. And we have said to our comrades, the respect for traditional leadership, it's not debated. It's a common issue that the Communist Party have always respected these traditional authorities in our communities, working within a democratic and constitutional dispensation. That mandate continues across our country, and we've agreed to strengthen our relationship going forward with Contra Lesa. It's specific. The meeting today was with Contra Lesa in particular, and there are others that may not belong to Contra Lesa will also be going to their communities, but we are saying we are ready to work with all traditional leaders in our communities to take forward some of the reversals, to bring back some of the reversals of our democratic gains that we have suffered as a people. And now we've seen even other parties taking over the leadership in government, almost parties that are disdainful of our traditional leadership, parties that have conquered, so to speak, our traditional communities in the past through arms, now being embraced by those who are supposed to protect our people and the institutions of our people, including the history of our society, which is embedded in the role of traditional leaders over generations. This is the framework of our statement. Like I said, we will fine-tune it and issue it out after answering and questions here. But Comrade Mkiva, if we have left out an important question in the statement, is free to add.
Maybe just one thing that I wish to add is that the South African Communist Party had invited us here, amongst other things, to brief us about their recent decision that they will contest the 2026 local government elections. Their intention was to take us on board so that we understand their rationale as to how they have arrived at that decision. As you know, we are all part and parcel of the mass democratic movement, and therefore they felt it important for them to brief us on this question. And we expressed our appreciation to that, and we have noted the traumatic experience that the South African Communist Party has been subjected to for them to arrive at that decision. We will not provide the details. I think the Communist Party has been communicating to the public on why they have decided like that. Ours is to take that and apply our minds into it, and as we continue to engage, we will see how to respond. We have not responded. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Topal. Back to you, Mbulelo.
Thanks, GS. Thank you. Colleagues,
You can
that
also
is
take
a
this.
statement with the different speakers, the GS and the GS of Controlesa. We will have, I hope, one session. We are not many here. If there were many people, maybe we could have a lot. Just one session of a question and answer to deal with the matters that have been presented to you. All right. I know you, Comrade Sanka. I will point you first. There's no South African who doesn't know you personally. All right. We'll take you first. Is there anybody else? I want to point everybody before I allow the speakers noted to speak. All right. We only have some time.
My question is directed to you, Mr. Mabaila, and to SG of Controlesa. In 2017, it was around, my memory serves me correct, around September, August. Sishen Miganala spoke about the issue of a referendum, and it fell on deaf ears. I remember that I did the interview with him. Yourselves as the SACP were dead quiet on the issue of the referendum, said nothing, were mute. Why the sudden change around? Why the sudden change of heart to want a referendum to take place within the country? You've never spoken about this issue publicly before. Why now? Then to Controlesa, you speak about how the SACP, I would assume you are saying, has been vilified for its decision to contest the upcoming 2026 local government elections. What is your standpoint as those who lead the people in the various villages? Will you be going out and telling your subjects that the vehicle to vote for is the South African Communist Party, or you will traditionally sit it out for themselves, whether they see the SACP as a viable vehicle to them reclaiming their lands that are stolen from them? Then lastly, Mr. Mabaila, is this effectively you as the SACP kicking and getting the ball rolling for the 2026 local government elections? Because essentially, in order to go and speak to the subjects of our traditional leaders, you've got to seek authority and permission from them to engage with their subjects and their communities. Is this you kickstarting your 2026 local government elections? Thank you.
Right. It appears that we only have some time. So I will hand over to the leadership to respond to the questions. I'm assuming by virtue of the nature of the questions, the leadership will decide who starts first. Looks like
No,
Controlesa will start first.
I will start. Well, we have always raised our concern about the sluggishness in terms of the land question and it being resolved in the country. We have never been quiet. You will recall that we had said to the African National Congress that they must host a special session, a special summit to look specifically, first and foremost, into the communal land, which supposedly is under the stewardship of traditional leaders. But in terms of the law and the paper, it is under the jurisdiction of the Minister of Land Reform. So we're saying that it wouldn't take even a cent to transfer that land from the ministry and put it squarely under the stewardship of traditional authorities of the country. We're given assurance that we have an agreement with the ruling party at that time. And unfortunately, this has not happened. So the question of the referendum, we put it forward because of the frustration over years and years. And we had to be patient with the liberation movement because it is our liberation movement which was founded by our forefathers. We gave it a benefit of the doubt. Things are where they are now, and we are taking a view that time has come for this matter to be decided by the people of this country through a referendum. So we have never sat back. We have always been very clear on that issue. Well, we were not invited here to be lobbied to support the SACP. We're here, the SACP brought us here to compare notes with us and see areas of commonality as to how best we can serve and service our communities. We are not in an issue of an election mode here. But what we have taken as a view as Contralesa is that given the crisis that we are facing as a country, we are going to be going all out to meet the key, as well as former leaders and current leaders of the country to interface with our view. And then in the final analysis, we'll apply our minds and we'll take a position we are going to be doing once we have done that extensive consultation. That is what we are going to do.
Thank you, Nopalam Kiva. Just Samkel. Firstly, is that must not be overcome by, as it is thing, when you are easily forgetful. Launched a campaign in early 2000 called Mawubuye Umhlaba. We're the first political party to do that in the new dispensations across the country, leading to the government convening the National Land Summit. I think, if I'm not mistaken, was under Minister Tokoti Samson program. And we placed many options about transfer to it and transfer of the land to its rightful owners, the people of our country, and its custodians, the traditional leaders, albeit within a constitutional framework. And scholars have said, if we pursue this form, it will take over 300 years. It's a tool that is not what it's supposed to do, because the land was the foundation upon which our liberation movement was consolidated into a single entity to bring back the land of the African people. You can't restore dignity of the African people when they are landless. The land is the basis of the wealth of our society. That is irrelevant to the livelihoods of the people. We're talking about the soil, the rich soil of our country, which has been by the conquerors. We're talking about the mineral resources in our soil. We're talking about the waters, the seas of our country. We're talking about our rivers, which are now even block rivers from cities. We have taken some of them to court, like this guy in Limpopo called Zed. We've also taken another one as a Communist Party in this census, in Mpumalanga, outside Siyabuso, who are closing rivers to water. So these are the resources that we're talking about. We're talking about the. So when we launched this campaign, it was not a by-the-way campaign. Of course, we left this, the process took longer. That is why when the process took longer, we have said it, the referendum. There's not much to follow whether what Comrade Sihle had said at a particular, because this thing has been stalled through by unnecessary discussions in no effective role or no effective way to transfer this land into the hands of the people on the decision about their land. And we've placed this notion of the referendum as important to any democracy. Some media houses have called us populist when we made this call. I don't know where you were, Comrade Samkelo, at that point in time. They said, no, we have been populist on this thing. We're not being populist. And Lesser agree with us on this, to mobilize our people to defend and regain their land. That is under constitutional framework. In other words, there's a legal thievery of the land of our people, or the continuation of. So the point is that we have launched this campaign, we are sustaining its momentum, and we have called this the referendum on the land, and we will be working with Contralesa, any other social organization, political and otherwise, that is committed to this thing. We are willing to work with them to make sure that there's a referendum, our people can decide about the. When you say we are kicking the ball on the local government elections, no, this was not the main task of our consultation today. Comrade Mkiva indicated, as part of the democratic forces in our country to exchange notes, but equally to the extent that we in the Communist Party have already gone to the communities to work with them on the People's Red Caravan, for instance. Before the formal launch of what is the People's Caravan coming of May, we have had, for instance, pilot programs particularly in our various communities in the townships, building, for instance, joint community stores and exploring alternative economic means to make sure that we tackle poverty at its root cause. One of the issues was to go to the villages in our rural communities. And we had pilot programs in that, whether it was in Libode in the Eastern Cape, Sitseng in Qwaqwa, Idi in Mpumalanga, Dzumeri in Limpopo, and other Kutama and other villages and so forth. So these were pilots. Now we're rolling this program outright throughout the country. We started this process before we even took decision in our Congress in 2022. In fact, after our 2022 Congress, within 2 weeks, I was in Matibidi. That was the first community I addressed. I was in Matibidi to effect this particular program of the Communist Party. So it's not related per se to local government elections. Of course, like General Secretary of Controlesa indicated, we took this opportunity to also bring decision to contest local government elections. They will have their own internal discussions as the leadership and decide what to do. As you know, this is a traditional house. In their communities, it's all political parties. But they are not confused. They know where this country comes from. And we are also equally not confused. We know their heroic role to defend the land. That's the principal form of property relations by communist language, if you like. What it means is that if you don't own the land, you are already defined in the poor category. When you restore the land, you determine production relations. In other words, you determine how labor relates to the economic outcome in society. Under the current system is the capitalist economic basis of profit making, profit accumulation, not resolving societal problems. That defines our relationship with the land. And it cannot be that we consciously permanent slavery in their country of birth, one of the richest countries in the world, and possibly the richest country on the African continent economically, and yet its people are amongst the poorest in the world. So this is the thing that we cannot accept. It is in this regard that this engagement have delved into common strategies about economic solutions that we should come together, come about jointly to resolve the challenges facing our people. So it's not about local government elections, no, not at all. But we will be found there in the communities. That is why we're calling on all our comrades, structures of the Communist Party, to make sure that we deepen this relationship to work with traditional leaders to resolve problems in our communities. Some years ago, we launched a campaign called Basic Services for All as the Communist Party. 2004, we launched it in Cleveland's hostel in Umlazi. And this campaign was about a crisis that we face today. That was 21 years ago. If this basic services for all, it was about provision of water, electricity, health services, all of these things, transport and so forth. If this was headed to by our ally, the African National Congress, whom we have given the mandate to lead us on the electoral platform, we could be far by now to resolve some of the challenges that we face in our communities. So that program was not an act in your neighborhood campaign. But we will go into communities, identify problems, report them to the ANC or government or representatives of government. Sometimes they took 4 years to resolve some of these problems. Now we are getting into the communities to resolve these problems together with the communities, with or without government. So it's not an electoral thing, it's a question to resolve the challenges facing our communities. Thank you very much.